Emily Artful has just uploaded a new video talking about Creepshow Art and Anthony Parker. In it, she shows even more screenshots of conversations that she's had with Anthony and with sock accounts, and gives even more insight into the level at which Creepshow Art or Shannon was involved with all of the terrible things that Emily believes that Anthony had done to her. So today's video is going to be talking about the video that Emily Artful just put out, talking about Creepshow Art and talking about Anthony Parker, who is Emily's ex and is now currently Creepshow Art or Shannon's husband. Now moving forward with this video, I'm going to assume that you already know everything that's happened up until now. If you don't, I have already made a video about Emily's first video, and I'll link that in the description for you to check it out if you want to, if you need to catch up, or if you just need a little refresher to remember what's going on. But to sum it up very briefly, Emily claims that Anthony and Shannon have been stalking her and taking actions to basically ruin her life for years. And the video she just put out emphasizes a lot of those points, so we're going to go over a lot of what she said and talk about some of the screenshots of messages that she shared, as well as some of her thoughts on Shannon herself. Very important things to say before we do actually get into the rest of the video. Firstly, disclaimer, everything that I am saying is based on speculation and opinion. It is all alleged and is not meant to be taken as fact. I really do not feel like getting sued. And final thing, if you haven't already, then please subscribe and turn on all notifications with the little bell button right beside the subscribe button so that you can get notifications when I upload. And also, just if you think you're subscribed, double check, because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people, and every single time I say please check if you are still subscribed, I get comments that say I checked and YouTube unsubscribed me. How rude of YouTube. Anyway, let's talk about the video. A good portion of this video is Emily showing a lot of the screenshots she showed in her previous video, but this time she's showing them directly on her phone, because I assume people were saying, well, these could be fake. She's just making all this up, yada yada. So she opened up her phone and, showed some of her personal stuff, her messages to her mother, just to prove that this is in fact her phone, before then going on to Twitter, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram and scrolling through the messages so that you can see they are real. Before anybody says it, could this be faked? Sure, it is possible, but it would be very difficult to do. Very difficult to not carry out. What's the word? To achieve. To very difficult to carry out. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. So it's very unlikely that she did just fabricate all of these. However, obviously, for acknowledging all the facts of the matter, it is possible. So one of the things that she says about Shannon and Anthony in this video is that for a long time, the moves that they were making allegedly against her were just getting bolder and bolder. And she claims they got really good at covering up their digital footprint, but they didn't realize how much Emily herself was saving, how much she was recording and screenshotting. And like we had talked about in the previous video, she was doing this because she had gone to the police and had asked for advice, and they said, you just gotta keep track of everything, screenshot everything. And that was basically all she could do. Emily actually shows a screenshot of a message that she sent to Shannon on Twitter. Now you can't actually see that this is to Shannon because Creepshow Art deleted her Twitter account, which means you can't see any of the videos, the messages. And in the message, she's saying that she's keeping track of everything. So for context, this is when Creepshow Art was saying that she was being stalked by somebody. I've received some strange DMs, but I'm beginning to think these specific DMs aren't from blank. The language is very different, but I can't be sure. I'm so sorry this is happening to you still. It's an absolute nightmare. Make sure you're screenshotting and saving every little thing he does. I've been doing it pretty much since the beginning and giving every little thing to law enforcement. They can't do much without his address, but I'm working on that. If I get any information, I'll be sure to pass it along to you so you can file a restraining order. That is just not okay, and I hope you stay safe. He's clearly very unstable. Now, Emily says that she actually sent this message to make it clear to Shannon that she was saving everything, because at this stage, Emily was suspecting that Shannon was involved with this, and obviously so was Anthony. But as we said just a little bit ago, it started to get bolder and bolder, the moves that they were making against Emily. But once Shannon started to get a following on YouTube and making a lot of money from YouTube, as we now know, at some point she was making $20,000 a month, I'm still salty that I'm not making 20k a month, but okay. At that time, the harassment that Emily was receiving started to ease off, and she thinks that this is because Shannon now had something to lose. Her career was at stake if she was caught for this behavior. And you know, she was caught, and her stuff on Lolcow was caught. So yeah, that didn't really go well for her, did it? Another really interesting thing that she points out about Shannon and Anthony is that she says, I think they did some of the harassing together, but I also think they did some of it separately and that they hid some of it from each other. And she uses this as a way to say about Shannon herself, when she's shocked about some of the allegations that are coming out from Emily, that instead of just denying everything, Shannon should just check in with Anthony. The way Emily says it is, stop pointing the finger at me, look at the person next to you, look at their computer, their hard drive, see what they're doing. If that is true that they were doing some of this separately and hiding it from each other, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some of the screenshots that she showed in her video. Now, some of these, like I already mentioned, were shown in the previous video, but this time she's scrolling on her phone. There is one that was shown in the previous video that she had realized something about that we're going to talk about now. So these are messages from Twitter when she was asking Anthony to leave her alone, basically. And he says, harassing? No, I've only posted in what my accounts are, like what has my face on it. The reason that this is important, and the thing that Emily realized about this, is that she says she hadn't actually mentioned any sock accounts to Anthony, and she doesn't understand why he felt the need to bring up that he's not posting on any other accounts if she never mentioned other accounts. And she just says that this was really suspicious, but also compares the language that he uses to the language that Shannon used to message her, alluding to thinking that this was probably Shannon that sent the message and not Anthony. Another thing she points out is that a lot of people were saying that she's the one that was stalking Anthony and Shannon for years, but points out this message of Anthony saying, dude, you gotta come over sometime so I can record you. I got a new mic and I want to hear how you sound on it. So she's asking basically, why would he be asking her to hang out all the time? Because this is not the only instance of this. It does happen a lot. Why would he be asking her to hang out if she was the one harassing them? The next set of screenshots I think are some of the most important in the video, and they're definitely the most interesting, let's use that word. So she shows a conversation between her and Anthony on Facebook. Now, previously in her video, she does show the first message through her phone of this conversation with the same person signing off as Anthony. So this is used as proof that this is Anthony, despite it just saying Facebook user because the account is deleted. She sends him a link to a music video, Original Music Part 1. This is just her singing some stuff that she made. And this is hugely important because if you remember in the last video that she did, she talked about this Brita Filter account, which was a Twitter account who messaged her saying, hey, my brother has been stalking you. He has all this stuff on you. He has whole folders of information on you and this and that and the other, going into specifics. And in that video, she had said that she believed that this was Shannon and Anthony trying to cover their tracks because they didn't want to get caught. Specifically, Shannon didn't want to get caught for it being her. But in that message from Brita Filter, they say that the brother had a grainy video of Emily singing. And Emily says the only thing that this could be referring to is that video that she had sent to Anthony. But the thing is, that video was always unlisted and now it's private. And she even shows the analytics that say that it has only been viewed 2 times from an external source, which is Facebook. So through Messenger. So it's just curious then how this Brita Filter account that was claiming that their brother was the one who had been stalking Emily and harassing her for years happened to know about this video that only Anthony knew about. Now, there's a lot more that she says in her video, and I'm obviously not going to go through all of it. I still have more to say, but I'm not going to go through all of it because if you want to see every single screenshot and everything that she says, you can watch Emily's video herself, and that will also be linked in the description. But one thing I want to just talk about briefly about the screenshots, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a lot, but she shows a message that she sent to Anthony's step-grandmother, basically saying, I think Anthony is harassing me. I just need to get the state that he's living in his phone phone number or something like that so that he'll leave me alone. And also sent another similar message to a friend of Anthony's because the grandmother didn't see the message because they weren't friends on Facebook. But she says when she sent this message, she was pregnant and that she was suffering from depression at this time. And also that allegedly Anthony and Shannon had been harassing her throughout the entirety of her pregnancy. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is that Emily believes that they were doing this because they wanted her to end it all. Can't say it another way. Now that is just a suspicion on her part, but if that is true, Jesus Christ. Now the final closing points, she talks a bit about Shannon herself and her involvement with Anthony. She says she can't even imagine the mind games that Anthony must have played with Shannon, considering all the mind games that he had played with her, with Emily. And as one example of this, she talks about him making backhanded compliments about her body even though he knows that she has an ED. And she says that even though the things that Shannon did to her were cruel, she thinks that Shannon is also a victim in this situation. However, that does not excuse her horrible behavior and the terrible things that she's allegedly done to Emily. But the point that she's making is that, in her own words, she doesn't want to destroy Shannon. She just wants people to believe her. Anyway, guys, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. So do let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. It is very heavy and it's a very awful situation. I just really, truly feel terrible for Emily in this situation. I can't imagine how horrible it is to deal with something like this for so many years. Okay, so I was just about to start editing and then I realized I have messed up slightly. So I did a fundraiser for my birthday and I was supposed to put the names of the people who donated, I think it was $15 or more in a video. And so not too long after I said I was going to do that, it was going to be like a week. And then after that, loads of stuff happened. You guys know I had stuff in my life, this and that. Basically, it just completely slipped my mind with everything going on. And I'm so sorry. That's just like not okay at all. So I'm very sorry for that. But on the screen right now, here are the names of everybody who donated $15 or more. If it was $10, I'll double check, but I think it was $15. Yeah, it's on screen now. Again, I'm so sorry for taking so long to put this in the video, but thank you so much to everybody who donated, not just the people who gave the biggest donations, but to every single person who donated. I appreciate you so much. We raised so much more money than I thought we were going to. My original goal was $500 and we exceeded that exponentially. So honestly, thank you guys so much. You're all amazing, wonderful, beautiful human beings. And I'm sorry that I have the brain of like a pea. Okay, on to the end of the video. Anyway, guys, like I said at the start of the video, please subscribe, turn on all notifications, and if you want to, check out Patreon and memberships, and also follow me on social media. Like, comment, share, and do all the things that I'm supposed to ask you to do at the end of the video, and have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.